Hey guys, welcome back to FIFA 23 Parma Career Mode, and this is going to be probably one of the shortest videos of any of the career mode that I've ever done. It's going to be around, 7 to 8 minutes. I think when I was editing the video, I wasn't quite expecting, because I thought I would have 5 different gameplays or 5 games that are going to be played in this episode. But turns out it was 5 games. Actually, I thought there was 6, so just kind of shorten up the highlights a little bit. Turns out I did trim way too much of it. So whatever you guys are going to watch or see later, it's pretty much the shorter version of everything. Instead, maybe a build-up play could be 15 to 20 seconds, but instead I can trim it down to 50%. So you might probably see a 10-second goal, 5-second goal perhaps, but this is usually not it. It's just a one-time off. So hopefully you guys are still going to enjoy this type of video. Again, I don't like to do a long video because at one point, every time when I try to commentate something, my throat just kind of went super dry after 5 to 6 minutes. So plus, I don't have water right next to me, so I wouldn't know. So there's nothing to help my dry throat at one point. So that's pretty much the reason why I'm trying to shorten the video, but didn't know it was going to be that short. But if you guys turns out like a shorter version of it, maybe 7 to 8 minutes, let me know. Then I can pretty much accommodate with that. We have a pretty hectic month. Again, hectic month with lots of goals to come. I mean, at one point, the scoreline has become a little bit more unrealistic than I thought it would be. The first 2 games was fine. I believe we beat, I think we beat Venetia 1-0. And in the second game, I believe we won 2-1. But later on, somehow, all the goals are just kind of piling up. Again, we just scored a lot of goals despite putting ourselves in 5 minutes gameplay plus ultimate difficulty. I wasn't quite expecting that, to be honest. But you know what? Like the first game, Benevento right here, 4-3 in the end, winning in the last minute right there. 87 minutes in, Pellegrini scoring another beautiful one. Tapped in, perhaps. Right here, still, we are top of the table. Still a lot more to go. But there's one thing I want to talk about in terms of the real life transfer talk. That's one I want to talk about. It's Mbappe again. Apparently, PSG has decided to sell him, decided to offload him, and there's several players in the PSG lineup that will no longer, or they're not part of the project anymore. But Mbappe is pretty much, he is pretty much ready for sale, to be honest. But the fact that I just want to ask you guys, where do you think Mbappe will be at by the end of the transfer window? I mean, it looks like he is going to not be wearing the PSG shirt ever again. Looks that way. I mean, if you're trying to sell a player, if you really determine that player is not going to be part of the project, then there's no point of putting him into a tour, or there's no point of integrate him into the plan. But of course, there's several there's several teams that are eyeing for his move, and we all heard a rumor. I mean, as an Arsenal fan, we all heard there's a rumor going around that Mbappe would choose Arsenal if he wasn't playing for PSG, or his first choice kind of thing in the Premier League, or perhaps Real Madrid as well. But the funny thing is, I think it was a couple of years ago, maybe a year ago, he had some sort of indirect control of the club. And that pretty much sums it up how I view him as a player. Again, nobody should ever or can ever be bigger than the club. If you are a football player, professional football player, and somehow has the authority, have the control over the club, then that's pretty much, again, you're playing way too much power there. And that's kind of disrupt the hierarchy of football in general. I mean, it's just kind of sucks right now, nowadays, where football player, kind of involved with the board way too much nowadays. I mean, I think I remember what Arsene Wenger did say it a few years ago, saying how some players have too much power over the team, and that's why you have to bench them at one point to kind of discipline them. And I totally agree. I mean, the fact that based on what Arteta needs in the team, you don't need him. I mean, you don't need Mbappe anywhere near to the team. Yeah, I think he's one of the best players in the world, if not the best player so far behind or after Erling Haaland. But I mean, certainly, of course, having the idea of Erling Haaland Erling Haaland in the team, it's great. Good player. He can play as a left wing, as a striker, any way you want pretty much. He can fit that role perfectly. But in general, I mean, you just kind of, I don't see Arsenal, signing him. Of course, Arteta did kind of rule him out for joining the team, which is honestly quite a relief. I mean, I really don't want him to be part of the team at all. The fact that he might disrupt, the years of hard work that we built in terms of structure wise, and also building that type of culture of work. And I'm sure Mbappe would definitely dampen the mood of everybody in the team. So I'm glad Arteta decided not to sell him, even though if signing him might give us a trophy, but in the long term, I certainly don't think it's gonna happen. So yeah, going back to the gameplay right here, back wins. I think the first game we won 4-3. Second time we also won 4-3 as well. Again, in 2 games we scored 8 and conceded 6. Again, the defense is slightly quite worrying at times. And right here, despite taking a 2-0 lead, the opposition takes score one back. Madonna scoring 63rd minute goal, and again, that is more of a realistic scoreline that everybody likes. I like it too. I mean, I don't like a much bigger score than 3-2 or 4-3, something like that. And right here, 4th game of the episode against Venezia. Again, I believe we played them in the first game, in the cup game actually, Coppa Italian, something in the end. And again, our team has been tremendous. I mean, one of the best teams that I've kind of worked with, to be honest. I mean, I wasn't quite, like I said in the last episode, I wasn't quite expecting that type of return in terms of points. But certainly we're doing that. Muru to a Sierra, crosses in the middle, open goal, scores that one, taps that one in. Taking a 1-0 lead, and later on, here comes Bodenzi. Just what a beautiful player he is. I mean, the fact that he's dancing around the defensive players on the other team, and of course he has that type of technique as well. And later on, just poor defense in general, just couldn't really get the ball out, and Venezia scores. Potential, or got one back in 66 minutes, and here comes Anderson to Novakovic to Shellshave. And guess what? Out of nowhere, they scored 2. And just like that, the game ended 2-2. It was one of those games taking me by surprise. I mean, we scored a lot of goals, but who would have thought? I mean, who would have thought defense kind of let us down in the end? But somehow, we are here, top of the league table, 11 points clear at the moment, 51 points. And we still have a lot to play for. I mean, we are more than halfway through the season, pretty much. We still have cup games going on, but in the league, we have been doing very well. Hopefully, we can wrap up the league as soon as possible. And, and trying to get the promotion a little bit early. But based on what we're seeing, we might be able to do that. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in a bit.